Hi there, my name is Jane and this is Loopy Mabel's Closet. So today I thought I'd share with you how I make all my own covered pretty buttons. If you remember my Ida blouse, I did a lovely pretty button on this beautiful blouse and I thought I'd share with you how easy it is to do. Make some pretty buttons. I've got some scraps out of my scrap box and I've just picked a few little ditzy prints, and I've got some fine leftover baby cord that I made my Pietra pants in. I've got that gorgeous sagey green and that lovely baby pink. I've got a piece of quilting cotton that I made my Maven Patterns French dart dresses. I've got some more ditzy quilting cotton, and I've also got some of this gorgeous loads left, well, a bit left of the fabric that I use for my Ida blouse. That's a Lady McElroy Queen of Heaven. So I thought I'd have a go at that. And this extra special piece of fabric is what lovely Lynn, hi Lynn if you're watching, when we met for coffee a few weeks ago, it seems ages ago now, and she bought me that lovely plaited fabric necklace that you've seen me wearing on some of my vlogs, and she wrapped it in this fabric, and I just thought I'm going to make some pretty buttons with it as well, so whenever I wear them I'll have something also to remind me of lovely Lynn. So I mean, it's absolutely easy peasy way of using up your scraps. I do it all the time. I love to make handmade covered buttons. I just think they finish off blouses and coats or anything really. I've got the button maker and I've got 3 sets of self cover buttons, all by Hemline. I'll put the link for them in the box below if you fancy having a go. Absolutely brilliant, this button maker. It takes all the stress out of making buttons. So let me just take this out this packet, and the instructions are all on the back as well if you ever get stuck, but I just thought, well, I'll show you how easy it is. So the button maker comes, it's got the sizes of the buttons that you can make and the corresponding press that you press down to create your buttons, and easy as that really. So you've got a top and a bottom, and then obviously you pick whatever size buttons you want to cover. So I'm fancying, I don't know how this cord, I think this cord should be fine, shouldn't be too thick. It is a fine baby cord, and I fancy making some nice big buttons out of the cord. So let's have a go at using this green up. So all you do is you get your scrap fabric, and I've just given all mine a little bit of a press because they were in the scrap box. And you obviously get your buttons, and they have a front and a back. So you take the front and there's the back. All you do is get your piece of fabric and place your cover, the button that you're going to cover, on your fabric, and just leave enough space to pop it in your little gadget here. So that should be ample enough, and I've just got my rotary cutter, so I'm just going to literally cut a piece out to start with. And it's all scrap fabric, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. And then I'm just going to trim off some of the excess. Just use my rotary cutter. It doesn't have to be exactly round because it's all going to go in and get tucked away and you won't see it. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Right, hopefully you can see a little bit better. So I'll just zoom in so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So there's my piece of fabric. I've just cut around it. And there's my large button. This is the 29mm button. And I've got enough. If I've got too much, I'll just go back and trim it. So you've got your fabric, and obviously you want your wrong side up, so your right side comes out on your button. and then you just choose the size of your button maker, which is obviously going to be that one, and you just literally put your fabric central and you put your button in the gadget. And I've probably got a little bit too much fabric there, so I'm just going to take it back out and trim a bit more off. So I've trimmed a little bit more off. So back to my gadget, and just going to put the fabric over, wrong side up again, looks a bit better, and just pop it in so it sits in snug. And you've got your back piece, and you want the ridgy textured side facing down and the smooth side facing up, and then you just, that's it. So you pop it right in, so it goes right in, and you've got the back piece. So you want these bits that's got like a ridgy spiky bit facing down and the smooth side facing up, and you just force your fabric down, pop your back on, get the corresponding hard section of this gadget, which is going to pop it all into place. And obviously we're doing the 29mm buttons, so it's going to be that one there. Tells you on the back, so you can't fall off which one to use. All the measurements are on the back. So it's that one there, and you just literally line it over the hole and just push down so there's no more to push, and it should look something like that. How cute is that? And you just pop it out. And there you've got your corduroy fabric covered button. So let's make another one. Let's make a pink one. So again, you've got your front, you've got your back. You just place it on your fabric and just cut around, just so you leave enough for it to tuck into the little gadget that we're using. Like so. And again, put your fabric wrong side up, right side down. Right side down goes into the button maker. Pop your button in, so it goes right down. Pop it right in, and then just squash that excess. Seriously, it's as easy as this. It's so simple. And then you've got your back. Don't forget, you want your ridgy side facing down, because the little ridges grip the fabric once it's been pressed in, and you just pop it on. And we're doing the 29mm, so that's the one I'm going to use, that one there. And you just literally press down. Till you can't press no more, and pop it out. How cute were they? Can you imagine putting them on a coat or a jacket? So that's the larger ones. So let's have a go at making some pretty floral ones. Now, I don't know if you've heard of fussy cutting. It's used quite a lot in patchwork when you're doing like cutting out your patchwork shapes, and fussy cutting is where you choose the piece that you want to display as the main part of your patchwork piece that you were doing. Maybe you were doing the hexagonal and you fussy cut, so you choose that section, or you don't fussy cut and you just cut it out and make your button, whatever turns out. So I'll just show you what I mean by fussy cutting. So for example, say I want a button that picks out these gorgeous little ochre mustard flowers. So let's just say I wanted to cover the 22mm size button. So let's just pop one off. There we go. And that's a nice size to pick out one of these flowers. So obviously I want that flower to sit central. So let's just cut a bit of the fabric out. Sorry, Lynn. It's going to get used. It's going to get put on a blouse of some sort. So I want that flower there. So now I'm just going to pop my button over that flower. Let's trim off what I don't need. And this is a finer fabric. So this will go in the machine a lot easier than the corduroy. So that's what I want, the back of there. And as I say, this is a 22mm, so I'll just find my corresponding 22mm, which is that one there. So let's just pop and then just central it. So it's, the button's going to go, hopefully, on the centre. Pop it in as far as it'll go. And then press your fabric pieces in. And then again, you've got your back piece with a little teeth. It's got teeth on the back and it's smooth on the right side. And we're just going to pop that over. So let's just make sure we've got all our fabric in. Like so. 22mm, so find the 22mm, there we go, that one there. And the same again, pop it on, press it down. And before I pop it out, let's just see if I've got, oh, how cute is that? Pop it out. And that's not bad for fussy cutting. I shall put that on something really nice, Lynn. And that's how easy that is. So that's the 22. I mean, it's not rocket science. It really is simple. And it just finishes off your outfits, I think. I've done it on my... So if you remember my Ida blouse, which I was talking about before, with that gorgeous Lady McElroy fabric that I've still got quite a bit spare, actually, I didn't fussy cut this button. I just sheer fluke that I got that pretty flower, but it just finishes off the blouse. I could have put a normal random, you know, bought button or vintage button, but I just thought, oh, well, for such a pretty blouse, it needed a pretty button, because the back is just as pretty on this blouse as the front. So if I can, I always try and cover buttons for my garments that I'm making, because I just think it finishes off. And you know, you can use contrast fabric. You don't have to use matching fabric. I could have picked a plain. I mean, I could have even picked this plain, obviously not that size, plain pink corduroy would have gone. I've also got in my scrap bucket, she says, rumbling. I've also got some of this. It's not ironed, so excuse the crease, but that could have looked nice as well. That Dusky Rose viscose linen that I did to do my Florence top, I've got a bit of that left. That would have made a nice plain button. So you just play around really with what you've got in your scraps, but I mean, that's what your scraps are for, aren't they, to use up. So that's my Ida blouse, and that was a button that I covered just to finish it off. So there's the fussy cut one that I did, and they've all got the shanks on the bottom with the holes in, so you can obviously attach your button as you would a normal button. And they're nice and light, because the plastic, they are quite nice and light as well, so they don't drag your garments down. So that's the next size down. And obviously I've got the 15mm, so let's do a 15mm while we're here. And let's have a go at the ditzy print. This is what I made my Sarah shirt last year when I was just got back into dressmaking, this in this gorgeous quilting cotton. And actually I don't have that shirt anymore. That's gone to a lovely lady who I think now lives in New Zealand. So it's somewhere else in the world, that blouse I made, that Sarah shirt. But I've kept the fabric because it's just so pretty. So let's cover this one. So again, oh, you need a tiny bit. I mean, if you're going to do buttons this size, these are the 15mm. You can use the tiniest of scraps, seriously. So, I mean, look how it just hardly uses anything at all. Probably the size of a two pence piece size. So let's just cut some fabric. In fact, I could just use that piece there. Just tidy up so you can see what I'm doing. So there's the 3 that we've made. That is so cute. And this is obviously the small one. I could probably get away with trimming a little bit more off. So let's just trim a bit off. And let's pop it in our little gadget. So these 15mm. So if you're not sure which one's the 15mm, get your tool, and they only correspond. You can't put the wrong one in because it doesn't fit. So you just turn it so it fits. So obviously the smallest one goes at the top. So you can't do it the other way because it wouldn't work. Wouldn't fit in. So you can't fall off. So we're doing the 15mm. So the 15mm, I believe, is the bottom one. Fabric wrong size down as usual. Pop your button in. Push it down. Oops. Start again. Just press it right down so it can't go any further. You've got your little scraps of fabric. Let me just zoom in so you can see. And you've got a cat hair, goes without saying. So that's what it looks like before I push the fabric in. So you just literally push the fabric in, just work all the way around the shank of the button. So you got it in nice and neat. And you don't have to worry too much because it's going to get covered by the back. And again, you've got your tiny little back, and it's got the little teeth, and the teeth go down because that's what's gripping the fabric. Just pop that on there. And I'm just going to line it up with my 15mm punch. Just press down. So you can't press no more. And then if you're happy with it, you think you've got everything in, just pop it out. And then you've got a gorgeous ditzy print button. And you just make however many you need. Use all your scraps up, and you just use this gadget, which is amazing. I love it. I've had mine for ages, years in fact. Use it all the time. And obviously I just use the plastic self-cover buttons, but you can also get metal ones as well. And, you know, easy peasy. And they make great gifts. If you just do a set, you could do a set of 6 or a set of 4 for some, you know, if somebody does dressmaking as well. How fabulous would that be if you did a set of 4 and popped them on obviously not this card, popped them on a lovely little handmade card with your buttons. So there you go. That's how I cover my buttons. Dead simple. Use up all your scraps. So there you go. How easy was that to make those pretty buttons? And if you've never heard of these amazing gadgets, the button maker and the corresponding self-cover buttons, then where have you been? And you really seriously need to get hold of them, because you know it's absolutely brilliant, as you've seen in my little demonstration there, how easy it is to use up your scraps. And I'm talking little scraps, so don't throw anything away. And how pretty are those buttons? This is the one, that lovely fabric that Lynn wrapped my necklace in. So I'm going to find, I've got a few things actually in the ochre mustard coloured, so I'm going to do a set of buttons and hopefully add 1 or 2 to whatever I make in those shades. And when I wear it, it reminded me of that lovely coffee meeting I had with Lynn. Hopefully we'll get together again soon, Lynn, who knows. But yeah, so that's how easy it is. And I'll pop the links for both the button cover tool and the self-covered buttons, and then if you fancy having a go, just click on the links. They are affiliate links, and I will get a small tiny commission if you do decide to buy at the end of it, but no pressure if you don't. That's all I've ever used. I've used my tool I've had for since my little girl was little. I used to put the buttons on the backs of her, or on the front of her pinafores, and she's now 31. So I've had mine quite a few years and still going strong. All I've had to do is obviously replace the buttons as I've used them. So hope you enjoyed today's video. It's just another way of using up your scraps. It just completes your outfits if you're making something really pretty, like this Ida blouse. If you're going to go the whole hog and make something really pretty and put a lot of effort into it, then finishing it off with a handmade button is just the icing on the cake. Don't forget to give me that lovely thumbs up, and if you've just joined me here on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe too. And I will see you on Sunday with my Jenny trousers, closet case Jenny trousers. So I'll see you on Sunday for that. But until then, please take care, and as always, happy sewing.